All right, here we are on 4/22, April 22nd, and we're looking at Cueanon updates here. I think there's 9 or 10 of them since I ended last time near the end of April 21st, yesterday, Saturday. This is Sunday, April 22nd, and we're talking about unified. And what's cool about that is actually my theme, I guess, and my passion is all about us as a country in the United States becoming unified and then unifying with other patriots worldwide, no matter our race or our color or our creed or our political beliefs or our gender or whatever, right? That we understand that this country is under attack from criminals, criminal elites, right? And that we need to understand that the Mockingbird media is lying to us every single day with propaganda, and we need to unite against that and help the NSA, the military intelligence, and the Trump administration take down this evil cabal, which means we need to come together and understand that the reason they're talking bad and making you think so bad about Trump is because they want to take him out, and we need to protect him, right? So thank you, Mike H. and Dogfather and Rhonda and Kimberly and Ben for all joining so quickly. But we're, again, going to talk about unified. I had a great experience today, guys, and I can't believe I forgot to download the pictures. But I met these two guys that are on my screen behind me and right in front of you, right, live today. So I was at the Prestonwood Baptist Church, actually, in Dallas, Texas, Plano, Texas, actually, and both Tim Scott and Trey Gowdy were there, and I got a signed book. So here's a book on Unified, right, and this is the signed book on these guys. So got the signed book on both of them. I asked Trey Gowdy, actually, if he was going to be the second counsel, because he's retired now and he's not going to rerun for Congress in November, and but we've been told that he's going away from politics and into some type of Justice Department prosecutorial role. And it was interesting. He kind of misunderstood my question, and Trey basically said, "I pray, I hope so." But so I think he thought I meant that I was asking him if there was going to be a second council in general, which he basically says, "I hope so, pray for," right? And then I asked him, "Well, could you be the second council?" And he goes, so I was kind of surprised. So I don't know if he's being coy, but he basically informed me that he wasn't going to be the second counsel. But we know he's going to be in some type of prosecutor role of some sort. That's what he loves. That's what he loves doing. So that's a little bit of inside information from Trey directly from him this morning, right around 11. I know, no, it's probably around noon or about 12:15 today. So anyway, so what's cool about this is if you've heard the Tim Scott and Trey Gowdy story, two Republicans from the state of South Carolina, and how they became deep friends despite being completely different backgrounds, different colors, obviously, and they've become completely unified. And this book is all about that. So I'm not all the way through that. I'll give you more details later on it, but highly recommend that. Man, this is what the country needs. The back of it says most Americans would rather celebrate what we have in common than focus on our differences, right? But the feeling of divisions are real. In recent years, the very foundation of our melting pot society has been shaken, ironically, by our differences. We long for a story that will give us a glimpse of how to once again find harmony within our diversity. This is that story. So cool book, I think. So I'm only through the first few pages of it, but again, this is what we need to do as patriots coming together against the criminals, right? And we need to just come together as a unified country. And what's interesting is Cueanon talks about this. So that's obviously why I'm bringing this up. So let's get into that a little bit. So we go into Q post right here. And we look forward to, at the end of my last broadcast, these are popping up live, so I hadn't had a chance to research them or think through them at all. We read them together if you were live with me on Saturday about midday. But here's some things that came out, this post that was actually 12:29 last night, and it was basically talking about heavy gunfire in Saudi King Palace. So there was a article about that I found that it was from Newsweek, so how accurate that can be when it comes to politics, obviously. But it looks like they evacuated the king. He's okay. I haven't dug into the details of what's really happening here and how this related and why Q posted it, other than to say that there's obviously false flags and war and civil war going on there as well, even though they took out and cut the puppet strings of Alaweed and some of the evil princes there and froze all their money, basically, and confiscated all their money, which is, I think, what we're going to end up doing here. But obviously, this is real. This is a real war between good and evil going on right now. And we found that as that happened live right when we were recording last time. And here's this when I couldn't refresh and had so many windows open Saturday midday and learned from that, we couldn't read this. And this is what I couldn't read. It says, so funny, the Democrats have sued the Republicans for winning. Now he's ours counter and force them to turn over a treasure trove of material, including servers and emails. So now the Republicans can counter sue. And we've talked about this a little bit yesterday, and that's the whole point, is that if Trump had went and sued them directly, or somebody had sued them directly, it could be dismissed. But now that there's already a suit against Trump, against WikiLeaks, against Russia, all three of them can counter sue. And actually, WikiLeaks is asking for donations right now, and that'll force them to, they cannot plead the Fifth Amendment because it's a civil suit, and that'll allow them to get information, like get the emails, or be able to insert all the stuff they already have now into legally insertion that we were talking about. This is great stuff. So, hail from Arkansas and California and Little Rock and Bahamas, Mike H. from Bahamas, and Memphis, Tennessee, Jewel. Felicia is here from Illinois. Melissa is here. Ben. Yeah, can't wait for the Moab this week. That's for sure. That mother of all bombs, Moab. We'll get to that in just a second. So this basically says treasure trove. Basically, treasure trove of information now that we can go get from the deep state DNC, right? The portions of Nav Grin. I'm a big fan of a lot of Democrats that have good hearts and love people. And I believe tons of them are going to move over. In fact, Q talks about that. And especially the African-American Christians, I believe, are a group that are going to see what happened in Haiti and actually see that us patriots are all coming together and they're going to join us. I think it's going to be an awesome movement. So let's not judge people right now. Don't just give up on them. I think all kinds of people that are left voters are going to come to understand that this is not a left versus right thing. This is about coming together to take down the deep state. Let's do it. Where we go one, where we go all. Let them join us. Share my video that I did 3 months ago. It's the very first in every one of my links that is designed to help people that are brand new, right? Again, let's look at this. This says expand further. Why are we making it public? So why are they making this whole thing about Blackwater USA? That's where Eric Prince was part of this Blackwater USA company. And he's the one who basically, we have many articles showing that he got information that the New York Police Department was bribed by the Justice Department not to deliver anything. They also, and then some other things I read, is that right after Hillary lost and they saw that this risk was there, they put all kinds of articles about her becoming potentially mayor of New York. So that would also threaten the New York Police Department from leaking it out because Hillary might be their boss. So basically, but bottom line is that now is the time. Now is the time that we have these suits going on. Everything can come out in the open. Now that can come out in the open, and that Hillary could go run for mayor, but that's going to be too late, too little, too late probably. So plausible deniability, planned. The world is connected. You have more than you know. So that was one that came live when we talked about it. Kind of cool stuff. I think there's one article here that talks about this whole Blackwater thing. This is from that Donald on Reddit. You can see right here. Let me blow this up a little bit. It says Blackwater intelligent CEO and brother of Betsy Davos, or Davos, I guess. And again, guys, hey, I'll apologize in advance. My pronunciation is not the best. It's my biggest weakness probably. So help me down in the comments below and spell out things I mispronounce so I can improve on that. I really appreciate it. I have some people that really get upset about that. But hey, I'm doing the best I can. I'm a learning person. So I read a lot and don't probably listen to as much news as other people. So I don't get the pronunciations as much. So let me know. But I think it's Davos. Betsy Davos, state lynch, created NYPD to drop sex case about Hillary Clinton, where she was found to have traveled at least 6 times to convicted pedophile and human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein sex slave island. And you can see here, this basically talked about the same thing and in a little more detail. But anyway, so that was again from the Donald talking about this whole Blackwater thing, which were as Eric It's where it is. Lynch threatened the Blackwater CEO, which was I think Eric. It doesn't have the name in there. But anyway, so that is a cool thing that now this is all coming together, allows them to actually find out the truth with what's on the DNC, what is on the DNC actual server, all that type of stuff. Hey guys, why this is circling on me, so I'm going to show you one other thing. You see this right here? This is a ram's horn, or called a shofar. I told you about this in the last video, right? This is one where you put it on the side and you actually blow it on it like this. Right, through the side. I'm not going to do it because it makes a lot of noise if you do it right, and half the time I can't do it right. But experts can make this a lot of noise. This is what was used when in the Bible, they went around Jericho 7 times and blew this before they attacked, right? So it's used in the Bible all the time for victory, God's victory. Here he comes, and this is what they blew on election morning. Mary Colbert, for months, had everyday prayers going on through all 50 states. And the morning of, she was told by somebody that got a message that they needed to all blow in every 50 states the shofar the morning of the election. And the miracle happened, as we know, back in November 2016. But I thought that was quite amazing. Here's 1230 talking about the Moab here in 1231, right? What will next week hold? Mother of all bombs, right? That's probably what I should have called this actual episode, right? But I'm so excited about meeting both Trey and meeting Tim Scott today. Those of you who just joined, I met them live this morning and got signatures on this book called Unified. And it's really my whole theme about trying to unify. My calling to do these videos is not only just inform you about Cueanon and Mark Taylor and how that comes together, but really the unification of all of us, right? How are we doing with the Comms Q? We came here for a reason. This really kind of just complimented a bunch of the Anons for their great work they do, right? And then they post on places like Reddit and Vote that I point you guys to all the time. What will next week hold the Moab? Fire up those memes. And guys, that's what I'm asking you. You guys are doing a good job here. Several of you, just a lot of memes. Send it to my Blessed to Teach Twitter, and I'll retweet it for you. You can also include Just Formed, who's the Justin_formed, I think it is another Q-tuber, they call us, Q-tubers, right? We're YouTubing about Q. And so another Q-tuber is actually also retweeting all these. So let's get all those memes out. Fire up those memes. Please stand by, on the clock, ready to play. Moab incoming. So this is a great time for us to try to educate people on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media about what we know is going on here in Cueanon land, right? So here's another poll post that basically talks about the map up here. I'm not going to scroll down there because it's not scrolling real well right now. But basically it had a map of the election, red and blue. And this Anon says, this is what the next 6 years is about, this question. And then you can see Q talking about that. They will lose black vote once Haiti revealed. And so once they see, I think that some of the evil parts of the Democratic Party, or just the evil parts of the deep state did, especially the Clinton Foundation, to the beautiful people of Haiti, and they will be awakened, right? And so a lot of lost now people are awakening now already, even without Haiti being revealed. So that's going to be one of that may be the mother of all bombs that we see tomorrow. Who knows? Or sees next week. They keep them enslaved. What did Hussein do for black community versus POTUS? As we know, record unemployment for both Hispanics and African Americans as we move into really see that Trump loves the inner cities. And so does Ben Carson, and there's not all the tax cuts that the Democrats purposely lied to the people, with the media lying to the people. What's new? The media always lies because of Mockingbird Media, the 4 a.m. talking points, saying that the tax cuts were not going to help the inner cities. They did. And then they're helping the middle class. They did. So everybody's seeing it in their paychecks now, and that's going to be big momentum for when? 11/11/18. So what is Q telling us? He's saying, so when this Anon says, thank Q, kind of cute, thank Q, we are an existential threat to the establishment, trusting the plan, right? Here it is. America will be unified again, all in capitals, 11/11/18. So that, to me, shows that all the arrests are going to happen. They're going to happen. That arrests are going to actually happen before the election. That's why I say it's going to be this summer, and that a lot of these bombs are going to be coming out, and these probably more Moabs are going to come out until millions and more are awakened. Right? He had estimated 22 million are awakened from Cueanon, and that's going to obviously increase drastically as we continue to wake up people. So here we go. That's a 12:34, 12:35. Here we are. A big long one comes in here. And this talks about a couple articles. There's an article from The Hill. You can see it's about Abedin and ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. And those of you who don't know much about Muslim Brotherhood, this is not knocking. I'm sure there's Muslims listening right now that are good people, that love people. In fact, I have some friends that are just really good Muslim people that have a great little culture, and I know that people say I'm trying to cover for Muslims. No, we can't. We don't hate people. Just like we don't hate Democrats, we don't hate people. This is freedom of religion. That's one of our major tenets, right? But the Muslim Brotherhood is a definitely a terrorist organization when you really dig it back to covers and see what they're doing. And they have a plan to basically infiltrate and take over America, basically institute Sharia law and basically eliminate the Constitution. And so that is one thing. So please help me distinguish Islam and the Muslims' beliefs from the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a terrorist organization that wants to do evil to our country, right? It's two different things. And there's another thing here that's a Harvard Muslim alumni. That link doesn't even work anymore, which is interesting. But if we dig into a little bit about see if I can find a little bit about, that's the witch hunt thing. I have quite a few articles here. That's an interesting thing that's coming up here in just a second. There's Trump with his son teaching him chess. So this basically says, good article. Don't forget about Awan or VJ. That's Valerie Jarrett, who's living in the basement of the huge mansion that Obama is in right now, basically trying to divide us. They're working with the mainstream media to try to divide us right now. FBI, America for Sale, betrayal, treason, no name, inside out, destruction. Saudi Arabia. I think that's what that's about. Huma and Hussein. So if you look at the connections that has with Saudi Arabia and Muslim Brotherhood, it's significant. I'm not going to go into the details of that. There's a lot of studies that have already been done on that. This is way back, but you'll see her deceased father was heavily involved. Her mother's heavily involved, and you'll see connections with this Harvard Muslim alumni who paid SA Vital Q. Now, what this is really getting into is Obama, and you go back and look and see who paid this, and there's all kinds of articles that source this back to Alaweed, the evil Alaweed who does gun running, human trafficking, drug running, the evil Alaweed who does false flags in the United States and most likely was responsible for Las Vegas. He's an evil man now. They took away his wealth now, and thank goodness, and cut the ties. He had massive money going into the Clinton Foundation. So we know that he actually funded Obama, Harvard. That's where most of the evidence is lining up. He funded Obama there. So basically an evil, Muslim Brotherhood supporter actually funded Obama, and we have heavy. Now, why there's all kinds of articles about the Muslim Brotherhood time, and here's one of them. And if you go look at this, see if I can find the one to actually, this is it. This is Bachmann defends her witch hunt. This is Salone. This is basically a negative article toward this Republican who's basically just trying to give information. This was all the way back in 2012. If you look at this article that comes up. And this Michelle Bachmann actually defended her attempt to root out deep penetration by Muslim Brotherhood into the U.S. government Friday. And there's a 16-page letter that she wrote back in 2012. In fact, I have it here in this PDF that you can download. And here's the 16-page document, right? And if you look at these bold items, it kind of gives us 4 items that summarizes this. But basically, Brotherhood operations, this is our enemies within the U.S. government, may have directly influenced the U.S. intelligence community assessment of the Muslim Brotherhood as presented by the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, in testimony before the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence on February 10th, 2011. So we also know that Brennan was a converted Muslim and really did a lot to damage our country and cover up terrorists, especially ones that were Muslim Brotherhood, which is, again, part of the terrorist part of an organization. They're the extremist part of the Muslim religion, not the good Muslims I know and you know, right? And so if you look at that and go to the second point here that she's talking, then she gives a lot of details proving that point. And then 2, she says, the mother, brother, and deceased father of Umar Abedin. And again, this was basically the right-hand person for Hillary Clinton, right? Deputy Chief of Staff to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. I could have just kept reading. Are connected to Muslim Brotherhood, and that she too, by extension, may be working for the organization's behalf. We pretty much know this is going to come out. That there was heavy relationships back to the Muslim Brotherhood, and I think the Awan brothers as well back to the Pakistani Muslim Brotherhood. All this was coordinated to sell our country. America was for sale. That's what this is all talking about. The organization, this is the third point, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and international organizations of 57 countries to which President George Bush created a special envoy position is determined to impose Sharia worldwide and undermine the U.S. Constitution. This is big, guys. And they've actually found plans, actually showing the plan by 2022 to literally overthrow the U.S. from within through massive migration of Islamic people that will not be part of the melting pot. They keep apart. They won't ever come and be part of the culture. Eventually demand Sharia law to overthrow the Constitution. So obviously, this is a big deal, and you have Clapper and Brennan fighting to cover it all up. So obviously, this went nowhere. If you look at the fourth point here we go. The fourth point is right here. On page 10 of 16, the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, an umbrella organization of American Muslim groups, is the largest Muslim Brotherhood front in the United States. So basically, and there's a lot of details about what this is and what this means. So this was 2012. All this great information was presented as we know, Obama was a false Christian. They made him out to be a Christian to get elected, but everything we're finding now in the pictures Q's posting, we know that he was heavily involved in allowing this and put the Muslim sympathizers and that would help the Muslim Brotherhood grow. So we had an enemy as a state, as a president, guys. It's all coming out now. All the proof is going to be coming out. And I haven't been that blunt lately because, again, I don't want people who loved Obama to not be awake. That's why you don't start with videos like this. You start with a video like I did 2 months ago that I have a link in the bottom of this. This will allow you to forward things that are more tame to people that will first understand Mockingbird Media. Second, they'll understand really that there's a deep state war and that they need to wake up to it, and then move them on to QAnon. And hopefully then they'll kind of understand and wake up, because we need millions more to wake up. We need your help. So that means please, like and share this video to the friends that are already kind of awake, but share the other videos that are tamer to your friends you're trying to wake up. And then also, please subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate that. And hit so you can join me live. Make sure you hit the notification button. Let me look a little bit here before I go on to some of the great posting. Man, we have Karen here, Adeline, Devora, we have Godfather, Nathan, Veronica. We have tons of people. What is that? Sultry Feathers. Tons of people coming here. And so there's great discussion going on there. And you guys are so intelligent. Sometimes you have conversations going on totally different topics, which is awesome. I just love how the interaction goes. I love Adeline saying, where we go one, where we go all. Yes, yes, yes. Does people in your church talk about Q? So there's great discussions going on here. At the end, I'll try to move it over onto the main screen so you can see yourself talk, and we can have a little bit more of a discussion at the end of this. Because I don't have a Mark Taylor video for today, but we'll do it at the next video. So that really was a pretty big article there on, wow, look at what the plan was to overthrow the United States by 2022 through the Muslim Brotherhood being one of those vehicles. George Soros, chaos with our currency and our debt, and the Saul Alinsky tactics as well. Crazy things coming out. I think you probably saw some articles about Sessions killing the $6 billion, where what the Obama administration did is they would, the banks who mishandled and did things that were totally incorrect during the mortgage crisis, there was judgments against them. And so instead of the $6 billion worth of judgments coming into the Treasury, they gave them to leftist extremist organizations, such as George Soros's organizations and Black Lives Matter and all these organizations that are Antifa, that are terrorist organizations. They call them victims organizations to cover it up, but they end up being leftist extremist organizations is where all the money went. So it's a good thing that we're closing that down. Dick Morris did a great video on that earlier today. I think that's on Facebook as well as YouTube. So if you look at this, here's we dug into this. That's 1236 where we dug into that Salon article. I think we also dug into the response to that. Boy, this is jumping again. Here we go. Let's go to the next one. That's 1236. Here's one that's 1237. And this quotes from that article and gives another Clarion Project Muslim Brotherhood explanatory memorandum. So you can dig into this in more detail. I'm not going to go into it in more detail. I'm just saying, please don't judge the average loving Muslim. Let's love them into joining the Patriots against evil. Most of them are ethical people that hate criminality. So let's love them in to us, right? I like to love them. I have family members that witness and have ministries toward Islamic people to get them to understand who the true God through Jesus is. So let's love them, not hate them into the kingdom, okay? And into them, and also into the QAnon red-pilled awakening, right? This says 1238, not official product, Five Eyes. Now this is big. This is a big one. If you look at this video, it's actually Nunez and a video that they've linked here. So this is not official product. Five Eyes. This is talking about the 5 countries that share intelligence. That's Australia and New Zealand, as well as Great Britain and Canada and the United States, right? They share intelligence. You're not supposed to spy on each other's citizens, though, right? It's supposed to give and share intelligence with each other. Listen carefully to this video he's talking about. No evidence to support the President of the United States targeting. None. Do you understand the gravity of what's unfolding? Trump's tweeted on this, right? It's basically, they started the Russian meddling investigation, Russian collusion investigation based on false premise. So that means they should be stopping the investigation. Evil and corruption, she had to win at all cost. You know why, right? Because she said, when things were going bad to her campaign, she yelled and screamed at her campaign officials and said, this is not a game. If we lose, we will hang. That was a quote from Hillary, right? They'll hang. She knew that there was so much criminality that would be exposed if she lost, so they tried to take Trump out in the first year. They told everybody they were going to take him out in the first year, and they weren't able to succeed. So now they're in trouble, and they know it. How do people vote for these people? Right, so if you go look at this, I'm not going to play the video, but I'd encourage you to go play this video. It's right here where Nunez is being interviewed on Fox News, and he goes through clear detail. So the new information is that they got the Five Eyes report to show how when this investigation was started, right, with the fake dossier, right, and there was no intelligence at all about Russian collusion, zero. Now, Dan Bongino and other people thought that there was going to be evidence coming out that Great Britain or one of the other Five Eyes countries was actually doing the spying on Trump. But no, they didn't need that. They were doing all the spying since 2015 by themselves, and they had to cover it up. So they started with the false, fake FISA, which was actually the deep state and Democrats actually colluding, including the Clinton Foundation, colluding through, as you know, all these different organizations, such as Fusion GPS, to create this, through Russia, propaganda, false propaganda, the false dossier. So, fake dossier, no intelligence from any of the 4 other intelligence from the Five Eyes. That's huge new news that just came out today. Okay, so that is why Q posted it on a Sunday. He usually doesn't do much posting on Sundays, right? Now, if you look back here at 12:39, this is the last one for today, and then we'll get to some more news. This is at Al Gore. Today is Earth Day. Did you forget? Do you feel safe? And there's a Al Gore hit there on how wealthy this man's become. I don't know if you saw this, but when he came out of office in 2001, he was worth less than $2 million. Today he's worth over $100 million. Guys, he's getting all this funding of green stuff that happened, and all this advocacy he's done has made this man a filthy rich person by lying to us with fake junk. I know that's controversial, but fake junk science. I mean, obviously change it from global warming and then having to change it to climate change because the evidence didn't support it. The reason it's climate change now, because of course the climate changes. But yeah, global warming turned out to be completely false, and he became $100 million. Oh my goodness, crazy stuff there. So as you get more into that, it just becomes crazy how much, and now more and more evidence is coming out about the junk science they're using. That's why we got in the Paris Accord. It's basically a huge tax to steal the wealth from America. We know that's just the facts, but again, nobody's going to know that because the media is supporting the fact, all the fake junk science. The same mockingbird media is lying to everybody politically, is lying to everybody about climate change. It's really sad. So anyway, that's kind of, let me get into some cool news here as we go on here. Let's see if I missed anything on this. What's happening in Saudi Arabia? We saw that. We saw the Blackwater stuff and Al Gore. We saw the Nunes stuff. We saw Michelle Bachmann who gave the information on Muslim Brotherhood, and that was more details on that right there. Here's a cool picture I just found from, I think it was on Reddit, that shows the fact that we're going through chess while our enemy's playing checkers, right? And we're about ready to checkmate them right now, especially with Giuliani coming in New York, and he's got a great relationship and actually went to school with Mueller. And as you know, based on the evidence I'm seeing, I'm going to show you something here in a second. There's even more evidence, I believe, that Mueller is controlled opposition working with Trump and the NSA, etc. Nobody believes me on that, but I think you're going to find the biggest sting in history. But this is what's happening here. This is we're taking master chess here. Here is another Blackwater intelligence CEO and brother of Betsy DeVos states Lynch threatened LBT. Okay, that's a similar thing. This post is getting shilled and downvoted hard. We're over the target. So I just want to show you that when you hit, a lot of times when the deep state's all over these boards on what I told you about, right? The vote.co as well as the Reddit boards, and they downvote things they don't want to move up so everybody won't see them. So they don't want you to know that basically that the intelligence CEO Eric Prince, right, is actually knows that the New York Police Department was bribed not to give out the information, right? So let's go on. I got two more browsers full of stuff, so we'll quickly go through this. But this is Reddit here, and I have another tab that is actually all the vote stuff. So let's go to vote.co. You'll see here's the first thing I said is you probably saw the Waffle House shooting this last night, and so this is person's I guess theory about this being a false flag, which I would agree with too. You know, no way we can prove it now with the little limited information we have, but you probably know I think 4 people got shot, and I think an African-American guy tackled the guy down and disarmed him. And so I think I have a picture of that guy in a second I'll show you. But here's what happened. This is what this opinion of what this is about. It would appear that the DS is going to push a narrative that, and they're talking about the deep state, it's going to push the narrative that he is another Pizzagate or Illuminati Israel shooter. The guy has all the hallmarks of being an MKU victim. That's MK mind control, right? That the CIA can do to people that put them on drugs and all kinds of trauma, etc., and can actually control people to go shoot up stuff. I think as I dig into this more, I think that's happening. But of course, he had an AR, right? So the AR-15, which is this rifle they're trying to get rid of because it's effective, it's useful. Most NRA people love them, and they didn't expect a black dude to be the hero. My guess is the guy is another clone of the Parkland shooter, right? Basically, just like he was all messed up in the head, and he was probably on weird drugs and probably an MK Ultra mind control person. Unfortunately, no campus mentis spell, and then it says here it is. Reagan shared a conspiracy theory video on his Facebook profile in 2017, along with the caption, "The Illuminati is real." So this is them attacking us. Anybody that believes in QAnon, anybody knows that there's a cabal out there, knows the deep state's real, that they're basically using somebody that said the Illuminati is real, basically saying that we're all kooks, so we got to have FBI investigations against QAnon, FBI investigations against anybody who says anything about Illuminati. Shut them down on YouTube. Shut them down on Twitter, right? According to the BBC, a smorgasbord of every other intrigue under the sun, the Illuminati are supposed to overlord controlling the world's affairs, operating secretly as they seek to establish a new world order. You can see the screenshot in the post above. So I couldn't find that. Okay, so let me see if I can find that screenshot real quick. But anyway, that whole point is that we have, I guess this is the person, 5 facts you need to know. And there's a post here that's going to talk about the Illuminati, etc. So scary stuff going on there that we have to be aware of. That again, deep state is going to use all their tools, crashing planes, crashing aircraft, knocking off people. So let's be safe out there. Stay together. Let's get the message. There's power in numbers, right? The more people that are doing YouTube, the more people that are doing tweets of memes. So again, make sure you take all your best memes, go to and say @blessed2teach. And I'll retweet the ones that aren't bad, right? So @blessed2tweet, and also Justin_formed. Tweet those to us. Put @blessed2teach in those memes, or just messages you want to get out. Let's overwhelm them to where they will have so many people they can't go knock us all off, right? And so here we go. If we go here and we look at this is the Waffle House thing. There's a couple of things that. There's another thing right here I just wanted to show you, is that the Section 5 records of the JFK assassinations were released on April 26th. So a lot of stuff going on this week. They talked about the mother of all bombs, and here we are talking about on April 26th this week, the last parts of the JFK assassination files will be released. So more new information coming out on that, and you'll look at there and you'll think right here it talks about. I have to do a quick search on April, and I'll show it to you. I'm sure you guys believe me, but it'll probably just be Control F. Go to April 26th. There it is right there. The instructions that will allow the National Archives to release as much information possible by the end of the temporary certification period on April 26th. So that's coming right around the corner. Could be one of the bombs, right? I'm not sure if that's going to be the Moab, but here's a declare George. This is something you can go sign. If you go to voat.co, and you basically register to Calm Before the Storm, you'll be able to basically sign this. Declare George Soros a terrorist and seize all of his related organizations' assets under RICO and NDA law. So I went and signed this. So I think there's, last time I saw there was, quite a few, way over the 100,000 already. So cool stuff there. Then right here, in Vote.com, you can see this too. Germany's largest public TV news broadcaster, Syria chemical attacks most likely staged. We've known that. That's why Trump was smart enough to let the media run with it. I think Sean Hannity was even part of the show there, and then take out sites that are actually the cabal sites. So I think that's what happened there. Let me go over the last browser. A lot of stuff that was on the Great Awakening, right? The storm it's talking about. So 18,000 patriots here. There's a lot more even on the Donald, if you look at it. So let me go back to just some of the discussion real quick here. Milsika, I miss Kanye and what he say. Yeah, so Kanye basically he's red-pilled, you can tell. I didn't see Mrs. Audricot's here now. Deborah, Sultry, Nathan, Veronica. A lot of great discussion going on here. Seeing if there's anything that jumps out to me. Yeah, because we know Kanye's supporting the president right now. Some great discussion going on about. We talked about the JFK missing files. And it's Nathan saying something about Bush 41 is going to be involved there. Pray for POTUS. Agree with that. That's for sure. Source needs to go to Gitmo. Agreed. He needs to eat a bullet. So some great discussion going on there. Here's another post, again, in Reddit now we're at. And this is the Five Eyes talking about, there's just some discussion I wanted to show you, similar to what I talked to you about, right? This says, I think that a lot of people miss the big picture. All the corruption that is being exposed right now is just what they were doing to make sure she got elected. Why did she have to get in? What was she going to do in office? She was going to continue the 16-year plan started under Obama, completely destroy our Constitution and our sovereignty. Thank God for 41020. You've probably seen 41020 before. That is the 4th letter of the alphabet, the 10th letter of the alphabet, and the 20th letter of the alphabet. What's that mean? Donald J. Trump. So that's code for Donald J. Trump. We've seen that in Cueanon before, right? Let's go to another piece of information that we got from Reddit. So here's something that is talking about this post about today is Earth Day. It's talking about Al Gore. Here's what this person's opinion is of that. Ha ha ha. There's so many rats in the swamp you almost forget about people like Al Gore. This scumbag has made a fortune, over $100 million, from government investment in green energy while peddling the global warming psyop. He's helped convince millions of people that they are evil for watering their lawns and driving cars, so they'll be more acquiescent to totalitarian rationing of energy, right? So that's. I just want to show you that opinion. This is some of the great stuff you can get on the Great Awakening site on Reddit. Now, here is something that talks about, are you kidding? It was just interesting in Barbara Bush's funeral. It even mentioned, this article actually mentioned that pizzeria owners were actually there. Just kind of an interesting tidbit. Here is a meme that I'm going to actually get on Twitter somehow. I just haven't had time to do it yet. Basically says, it looks like a Q board here, right? It's obviously not, but this looks like the Q map. And here's a military person saying, and right here is where Q says no deals. That just cracked me up. So love that one. Here's one that is talking about a Canadian, and this is just interesting. Remember, guys, this is a lot more than just United States, and I think you know that there's people on board talking to us right now that are not from the United States. In fact, I think my major listeners besides the United States are Canada as well as Australia, but almost tons of other countries. When I look at the demographics, this Canadian says, just wanted to say, we go one, we go all. To all American patriots here, you've got plenty of neighbors to the north following the drops who want to see you take back your country. You know that you have plenty of friends north of the border who are doing everything they can to help. Stay vigilant, stay strong. We go one, we go all. Isn't that cool? It's cool to see patriots worldwide coming together, right? Here's another funny meme. I rigged my own election and I still lost, right? So send me memes again to @blessed2teach on Twitter, @blessed2teach, all one word, blessed to teach. Here it goes. And I think you guys know that means I'm not saying I'm some blessed person. I say I get blessed because it makes me study and I learn so much more that the Lord blesses me when I teach. So that's what I mean by that. Democrats have, this is WikiLeaks. Democrats have gone all Scientology against WikiLeaks. This is basically Julian Assange talking about this. We read the DNC lawsuit. Its primary claim against WikiLeaks is that we published their trade secrets. Scientology infamously tried this trick when we published their secret Bibles. Didn't work out well for them. For those of you who know more about that case, you probably understand that, basically WikiLeaks has been solid. They've never been proven wrong. They're publishing factual things. So interesting to see how that's going on. You probably heard about Rudy Giuliani. This is a long piece of information that I'm going to go ahead and read you guys because I think it's worth it. I'm going to save it for last though because it really gives me the theory of the chess match, right? Here's a couple other things I'll show you. This is the guy that tackled basically James Shaw is his name, who tackled the Waffle House shooter and disarmed him. A real hero. He got hurt, but obviously this guy saved a lot of lives by tackling that guy with an AR-15. Right? So even though the armed policemen or sheriffs in Florida won't go down the barrel of an A-15, this guy tackled somebody with an AR-15. It's not a policeman. So this is sad what happened down in Florida, obviously. and the fact that David Hogg continues to take our guns away, trying to take our guns away with his basically using the deep state media and Mockingbird media. Here's and then you got people like Media Matters attacks anybody that says anything bad about David Hogg, including trying to attack all the advertisers for Ann Coulter. Just ridiculous how these deep state operatives work to try to keep their criminals in power. Here's another one that says, huge breaking news tells, this is Maria Botrinimo on Sunday Features, and I was telling you about this, just how they finally got their hands on the original intel that spurred FBI and FISA investigations. Nunes confirmed there was no official intel. In other words, the Five Eyes, the 4 other countries, had no intel. Neither did we. So there was no proof of any Russian, but we still started it and that's why they went and got the planted page and planted people that they knew had Russian connections into the campaign, so they could go get the FISA because they knew they'd be busted if somehow Trump won. They'd be busted because they were spying on his campaign the entire time. Proof it was all a scam. This is a huge news. Pass it on. So that's really the whole breaking that was just posted there. Last thing I have before I go back to this more detailed post is I was just digging into some more stuff. This is kind of funny. I don't know what this was. This was another meme. Let's see if I can bring it up here real quick. That basically just talked about Bush, and it's Clinton felt Jeb Bush was the biggest GOP threat, the new book says. So it's just kind of a thing. Can you believe they thought that Jeb Bush was a threat versus Trump? Now they know who the real threat is. That's for sure, right? So this is an interesting, and I think this is interesting. This comes back to my keeping to try to let you guys know I think Mueller is controlled opposition, right? Actually giving all his information, working with the White Hats. So let's read through this a little bit. Thank you for all who responded yesterday to my invitation to salute this very talented meme creator, XJX. And they published yesterday, so there's memes. I'm not going to go through all that stuff. But do you like chess? It's an amazing game. And he's talking about how his uncle taught him. And right then, he basically, and this is the picture I showed you earlier of Trump teaching his son Barron how to play. Right? But here's that she goes, learn chess. Down she goes. Nobody escapes this. Nobody. Q from post number 959, right? When I heard the news that Trump had appointed Rudy to join his legal team to deal with the Mueller probe, I immediately saw it. He is replicating an amazing Lev Oglinski endgame puzzle. So basically they show how this guy did a great move at the end of a chess game. Remember my previous post that Mueller had to try to see how the pieces translate to real life. Those 2 white rooks are what these 2 potential promoting pawns represent. So basically there's 2 pawns about ready to get queened, and the guy that ended up losing, this brilliant guy who had 2 rooks before his pawns got queened, used his rooks in such an amazing fashion he got checkmate in which people wouldn't even ever thought to do. And so let me show you how Trump replicated the real life, the brilliant and surprising move of the rook c7, allowing the most ephemeral, useless b1 black queen promotion. So basically the person got a black queen, black pawn turned into a black queen, but they were so baffled by the 2 rooks that the king never got a free. Ready, go. First, let's remember Rudy Giuliani supported Trump very early in the campaign and really stood out and predicted on October 26, 2016 that within 2 days something big was going to happen that day, and they had that something in their sleeves. It was a pretty big surprise, which would turn the election around. Watch the video. And so apparently Giuliani heard from the FBI contacts that the reopening of the Hillary email investigation was going to take place. That was the video that they're talking about. Now, after Comey made the announcement, let's watch how Wolf Blitzer pressures Giuliani into tell him how he got the information. So Wolf Blitzer's attacking him, right? And this talks about he's very aggressive and he does his homework and he tried to pressure Giuliani into getting the right information. And basically, he was trying to find out if it was something that they could use. So the fruit of the poisonous tree, which means that there's a procedural error that it could be dropped, right? Because obviously this deep state Wolf Blitzer wants to get Hillary elected. And so this is why Mockingbird Don Lemon first makes the connection and hands the prey to Wolf for slaughtering. Hopefully Giuliani will get Hillary off the hook. And Giuliani, he's a lawyer, prosecutor, brilliant guy, first in his class type guy, right? Or second in his class, I think it was. Giuliani gets a few feathers torn out, but remains alive. Few. So basically, he basically told them it was ex-FBI agents. And so now, why is this relevant? In the letter where Comey informs Congress the FBI has reopened the Clinton email case, we read, in connection with the unrelated case, the FBI has learned the existence of emails appear pertinent to the investigation. He is referring to the Weiner case on the New York Police Department was investigating. So they found the laptop. Now watch just very carefully. Joe Biden, did you see it? So that was a video of Joe Biden. We're not going to go look at it. This, oh God, from Creepy Joe was genuine, almost forced acceptance. Why? Because Weiner is the weak spot. Uma confirmed it here, right? So we know that what's on this laptop is probably part of the mother of all bombs, right? The New York Police Department discovered in Weiner's laptop that we know as an insurance policy, since Q told us in Q224 that Eric Prince was a credible source, right? We just read about that. Eric Prince is the Blackwater connection in the last post that we were seeing, was a credible source. We knew where the bodies were buried. So basically, Eric Prince, who knew where the bodies were buried? Let's see what he has to say about this. So basically, you can go read this in more detail. I'll link it down below, but basically, you can go see some images of all this happening. Now, let's read Q854, right? And that's where you basically have all this stuff about the HRC drop, impossible to defend, and nail in many coffins. A lot of stuff here. We must work together. We are only as strong as our voice. I'm not going to go over that in detail, but I'm going to jump to, oh no, it's going to make me go back this way. Probably have to go back from here. And then this guy's jumping into some really awesome conclusions that I wanted you guys to see real quick. That now we read this post, right? You see how Q translates Eric Prince's language into the language in the first 7 lines. They are saying the same thing about the damning information on those connected. And that's basically what's on the laptop. But Q ends in this, which is basically the name of the video. This is the video file name. This is the famous Hillary video everybody is talking about, but nobody has seen. I know people say they have seen it, but Q already told us it's fake. You thought it did not exist. It does. They purposely did not release it, but have people talk about it. Why? Because of legal constraints. It's not indictment material, but political leverage material. It's an Al Capone situation where his tax evasion will translate into a Uranium One Clinton Foundation private server, etc. This is what Q means when asked about the rumor of the video circulating on the dark web. He told us in 1193 that we control it's Q, right? We control it. Q controls this video. It hasn't been seen by anybody except for the New York Police Department people we know and some of the people on with Q clearance. This association with disinformation is real. Disinformation is necessary. You know why he had to. We control. This is Q telling you they have the video. They engineer the rumors to use it as leverage and will use it only in due course. When is due course? The day this question finds an answer. Q854 and the stage set on drop of HRC. So this is, we're almost done, 3 more paragraphs here or so. So this is what the New York Police Department saw. And it was the New York Police Department forced Comey to do the right thing. He was cornered. He had to. Now you are probably asking, is SB2 tired of something? We thought this post was about Giuliani. Well, Giuliani was once mayor of New York and one of the most prominent ones from 1994 to 2001. And who appoints the chief of New York Police Department? Yes, the mayor of New York, the ultimate boss of New York and the mayor. So you see it? This is where Giuliani got the information. This is what he could not tell Wolf Blitzer and had to sacrifice his former FBI agent contacts to Comey further scrutiny. This is the reason why after Hillary Clinton lost the presidential election, this immediately started circulating. And that's a bunch of pictures of Hillary running for mayor, scaring the New York Police Department even more. Another threat. These came out in like 5 different New York areas. You can go look at that by clicking on that when you get the link. After having seen First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State, and twice Democratic Party nominee for president elections running for mayor of New York is a pretty strange move. The reason was after the New York Police Department video resurfaced in the news, she was sending a subliminal message, right, to the New York Police Department to let them know she could become their boss in the future or control whoever it could be thanks to her political influence. They should therefore manage this wiener material they have with a caution to expose the department to the most violent purge of its history. This was a threat. It worked. After this, you had never heard anything about New York Police Department talk about this again. Since it worked, she did not have to run. The rumor faded away, but it's still there to be reactivated. So we saw the Justice Department come down on them, the threats of Hillary becoming the mayor, all to try to shut up the New York Police Department from talking about the video and Anthony Weiner's laptop. Now let's go to Giuliani. So Wikipedia said Giuliani was elected president of his class in his sophomore year, but he was not reelected in his junior year. He joined as a Phi Rho Phi fraternity. Giuliani eventually decided to forego the priesthood, instead attending New York University Law School in Manhattan, where he made the New York University Law Review and graduated from cum laude with a Juris Doctor degree in 1968. Keep that in the back of your mind. Let's go to Robert Mueller. Wikipedia. Mueller earned an MA from the International Relations at New York University in 1967. So they were in school together before pursuing this Juris Doctor degree. You see it. Giuliani and Mueller were both attending New York University in 1967. That's an amazing thing I thought about this. Some 50 years later, they find themselves in the middle of one of the most controversial legal cases in contemporary American politics. Coincidence? Question mark. Giuliani, being the president of this case, is a sophomore year, shows that he has a natural ability to lead and network. Therefore, chances are very highly Giuliani and Mueller frequently or at least knew each other very well. Now is the right time to read 1180 again. Rudy, New York City. Relationships high. We just saw this yesterday. Insurance file. Quiet until now. Remember, Rudy's been quiet till now. Join POTUS legal team. Direct discussions available now with Mueller. So we saw this from Q, right? Direct discussions available now with Mueller. Enjoy the show. They never thought she would lose. Careless Q. Q is telling you Rudy had a relationship with the New York Police Department and that he knows the ins and outs of the insurance file found in Weiner's laptop. I've already told you in my previous post, Mueller was working for Trump. So because of the respective backgrounds, Giuliani and Mueller must trust each other and can therefore make the best of what is respectively have. Giuliani has access to the insurance file. Mueller has prosecutorial powers. This is why Trump never fired him. This is the end game. This is why Mueller was created. You remember the special prosecutor Trump promised to Hillary? That's Mueller. So do you remember the special counselor Trump promised to Hillary? That's Mueller. Let that sink in for a minute. Take another minute. Just think about that. You remember the special prosecutor Trump promised to Hillary? That's Mueller. The witch hunt. Hillary's the witch. Crazy stuff. I'm not going to read the rest of this, guys, but it's pretty cool. But I guess we're so close to them, we might as well. We have everything. How can you use what we know? How do you legally inject, make public use of evidence? This is Q 1181. What are you witnessing unfold? Trust the plan. You're seeing magic happen right now, guys, with everything going on. You see this? How do you legally inject, make public use evidence of this? This is Giuliani and Mueller sitting down and figuring out the legal ways through which Mueller gets access to the insurance file to finally get to Hillary. Once that's done, all the dominoes will fall. This could be the mother of all bombs. Through Giuliani, Mueller adds his Guccifer in-house expertise, another external another external attack angle, to know more about the Guccifer internal attack angle. Read this is a Guccifer post and the plot summary here in the comment section. So you can go get more detail on this whole theory here. Now, again, the chess puzzle video again. So this is where they had the pawns and the rooks I was telling you about. You now see these two white rooks on this person's chessboard are Mueller and Giuliani. Now you know why Giuliani temporized and did not enter Trump's cabinet. This is a deadly move, Rook C7. It's a trap to allow his ephemeral B1 queen promotion to the Hillary pawn to mayor of New York or not. So basically the pawn going to the queen was Hillary, right? become the mayor to stop everybody from talking. Look how rook c3 protects the king, doing nothing, then locking row 3, oscillating to c3, d3. You can go back and see that. That's Mueller not investigating Trump and indicting plants instead. Let me read that again. That's Mueller not investigating Trump and indicting plants instead. The Black King cannot protect its pawn, and the pawns are neutralized. And finally, when 2 rooks occupy c7, d8, this is Trump instructing them to work together and bring him the checkmate. Wow, a theory. This is the theory I've been on for a long time. There's a lot more detail in there. If you can click on it, I'll put the link in there. That's where I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to bring over some chats, and we'll talk a little bit about chat, maybe do a prayer real quick, and we'll wrap it up here. But here's the chat window, and I'm going to have to shorten it up to actually see the most recent. But you can see we have a lot of people here. Dogfather, Brown Eyes, Be Truthful, Nathan, It's jumping on me. What are you doing that? Well, it's finally shortened up for me. So as I move it over here, it's jumping. There we go. But we see some. Corsi wants to throw fists with Mueller, says Nathan. Adeline, you'll love Dr. Corsi. Yeah, Corsi's awesome. Takes a lot of time to listen to him because they do decoding and thorough stuff. I love it when he does his own cast, right, where his streaming where he's summarizing it versus all the detailed decoding, which can take too much time for me to listen to. But anyway, great discussion goes here, guys. I just want to let you know I appreciate you. I'm going to lift this up in prayer real quick, and I'll come back to the chat here in a second. First, let me just bring back up what I was summarizing. Unified. This is beautiful, guys. And I'll give you more details on this book as we go. Here, it doesn't matter if you're black or white or what your background was or what your religious beliefs are, what your gender is or what in your classification or whatever it is. We need to come together as patriots to take down this deep state. And I'm going to pray about that right now. Lord, thank you so much for everything you give us. We just love you so much, Lord, and we just ask you to help us become the army of God. Help us understand what you want us to do to help us come together. Lord, I pray you do bring together every walk of life together in the United States to become the great melting pot that they talk about in this book. I thank you for this book by Tim Scott and Trey Gowdy, and I pray that many people will read it and be encouraged to come together in a better and stronger way, that we can enjoy and celebrate our differences. Just like in a marriage, we celebrate the difference between man and woman. We can celebrate the difference between all races and creeds and belief systems, etc., as being united by this great Constitution, and that we'll protect this Constitution against the evil and the corrupt that are trying to overthrow this, Lord. So please empower the people that are trying to overtake and expose this evil and confuse the plans of these evil enemies, Lord. They're killing people right and left. They're sending MK Ultra people out to kill people. They're crashing planes. They're doing all kinds of evil things that we know about, Lord, that's going to be exposed. Expose it quickly. Allow this mother of all bombs to be something that will allow us to move more quickly through to start the arrests. We pray for protection around everybody here, Lord, and that the rest of the world will be blessed by this takedown of the United States cabal and eventually get the cabal taken out worldwide. We say these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, that's awesome. Let's just go back to the shrink. I'll shrink this down so I can see the post a little bit here again. We got something saying, Dogfather of Whole, you're amazing. I love your prayers. God bless you all. Thank you, Dogfather. No. Ever says something about something. Thanks, Ken. Mega. Make America great again. I hear you, Mike. Brown Eyes, love the prayers. The Rightful Media, also WSMP Watch. So I just wanted to end by just acknowledging that it's awesome to have you guys here live, and it's fun for me. I'm sorry, just so much material I like to get across in these videos. It's often just too much to kind of chat with you too much, but do love it. I didn't understand chess. I hear Devorah, but it's kind of cool to see how the amazing brilliance of what the wisdom that God's given Trump and the NSA and the military intelligence to take these people down. It's going to be a great week here. Let's all get back on and understand what the mother of all bombs are. Please send your memes to me. Like and share this, as well as subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Please take your memes or just start communicating with me on Twitter. Again, at Blessed2Teach. At Blessed2Teach. Would love to communicate with you there more often. You guys have a great Sunday, and God bless.